Hey, this is Mr. Coker with a video about graphing linear equations from standard form. Probably sounds complicated. It's not. So, graphing linear equations we've talked about before in class. So hopefully you know how to do that. That's where you find the y-intercept, make a point, use the slope, find the slope, use it to make a second point. Well, those are given to you in the linear equation, but what if they're not? Here's what I mean. This problem here is 2x plus y equals 2. It's not in what's called slope-intercept form. We don't know the slope. We can't just look at it and see the slope and look at it and see the y-intercept. But there are hints a little bit telling you. So we know that the y-intercept is a constant, and we know that the coefficient of x is the slope. So you can probably at least get an idea of what each number is. But let's see how to actually find it. So what we're going to do is, and there are two ways to do this. The first way is, which I'm not going into, is to find the intercepts, where you would put 0 in place of x, you find the y-intercept, and you would put 0 in place of y, to find the x-intercept. Now, I'm not going to teach that way because it doesn't always work. We might not have an x-intercept that goes over a straight point. We could get an x-intercept that's a fraction. So because of that, I'm going to just teach the standard way to do it, which is to solve for y. Solve for y. This is essentially what we're doing is doing a real-life literal equation. A couple weeks ago in this class, we did literal equations. Here's a point where we actually use that. So, literal equation, I'm going to solve for y. What that means is I'm just going to get everything that's not y, I'm going to move to the other side. Now, this is a one-step literal equation. We have y, the only other thing we have on this side is 2x. Well, what's the opposite of 2x? It's minus 2x. We minus 2x on both sides, and what we get is our new equation looks like this. Y equals negative 2x plus 2. Negative 2x plus 2. Now it's in slope-intercept form. We have a y-intercept of 2. We make a point at 2. We have a slope, which I'm going to abbreviate as m, because that's the abbreviation for slope, of negative 2. Well, negative 2, put a 1 under it to make it a fraction, and now we can go either up 2 or down 2. Well, we can look and see, I don't have room to go up 2 on my graph, so I'm going to go down 1, 2, and then I go over 1. It's a negative, so I'm going to go down and to the right, down to right 1, make a line that goes through both points, and you're done. This is number 1 in today's assignment. Now I'm going to do one more problem. Pause this if you need to. Number 2, next I'm going to do number 3 of today's assignment, which is 8x plus 3y equals negative 9. The reason I'm picking this one Simple. Just because I want one with a coefficient of y. So now we need to solve for y. The first thing we're always going to do is get rid of whatever is with the y's, whatever is not connected to y, which is 8x. I'm minusing 8x on both sides, and I'm just going to rewrite the equation now. I'm going to take the 3y and bring it down, and now I have 8 minus 8x, or negative 8x minus 9. First off, you should notice it's going to be a negative slope. Hopefully that you notice that right away. But we're not done. Why are we not done? Because we have a coefficient of y. We don't want a coefficient in front of the y. We just want the y. When we have a coefficient in front of the y, it's being multiplied, so we're going to divide everything by 3. What that means is we cancel the 3's on this side, of course, and we get y equals negative 8x divided by 3. We're going to get negative 8 over 3x. Do you see why? Negative 8 divided by 3 is just negative 8 over 3. Write it as a fraction. Don't find a decimal. It's a slope. We don't want a decimal. If it's written as a fraction, we can count. That's what we want to do. We want to be able to count up and down, count left and right. Negative 9 divided by 3 is negative 3. Now we graph, we found our y-intercept, it's of course our constant, 1, 2, 3. Going to graph that at negative 3 on the y-axis. Our slope is the coefficient of x, negative 8 over 3. It's negative. Now we don't have room to go down 8, so we have to go up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And it's negative, so if we go up 8, we then have to go left 3. 1, 2, 3. And that's it. So that is graphing an equation when it's in slope, when it's not in slope-intercept form, when it's written in what's called standard form. So thanks for watching and have a nice day.